My life has always been one of constant motion. I find staying in one country for too long becomes monotonous. I crave the thrill of new places, the experience of different cultures, and the stories of the people I meet along the way. It's a rewarding life for the most part. Whenever my funds run low, I pick up odd jobs. I'm a jack of all trades, comfortable in hotel kitchens, on construction sites, or picking fruit under a warm sun. I have a habit of chasing the summer, heading south when winter begins to bite. The cold of Northern Europe can be harsh, and life is simply more pleasant in the sunshine. Last autumn, I spent October in the beautiful city of Venice, working in a hotel for a few weeks. When the job ended, I started my slow journey southward. Trains are my preferred mode of transport. I love the freedom of being able to walk around and the countless opportunities to strike up a conversation with fellow travelers. From Venice, I made my way to Trieste. There, I managed to buy a cheap ticket for a slow train bound for Sofia, Bulgaria. The train departed on a Thursday morning, and it was nearly empty at first. However, when we stopped in Zagreb, more passengers boarded. I noticed two women walking down the corridor. They glanced into my carriage but continued on their way. The train pulled out of the station, and after watching the scenery for a while, I drifted off to sleep. When I awoke, I found the two women sitting in my carriage. "Hello there," the taller one said with a warm smile. "You're 23, your name is Ethan, you have green eyes, and your family lives in Portland, Oregon. Am I right?" I was stunned. "How could you possibly know all that?" I asked. The second woman giggled. "She saw your passport. It was peeking out of your coat pocket," she explained. Feeling a bit foolish, I checked my coat, which was lying on the seat beside me. Sure enough, my passport was there. I quickly secured it inside my travel bag. "Well, you have me at a disadvantage. Who are you?" I asked. They introduced themselves as Chloe and Sophia, two friends from Los Angeles, California. They were seasoned travelers, sharing stories of their adventures across Europe, from Britain and Holland to Germany and Spain. "I'm on my way to Bulgaria now," I told them. "I plan to stay for about a month before heading further south to escape the winter, maybe to Cyprus or somewhere in North Africa." "Oh, you'll love Bulgaria," Chloe exclaimed. "Sofia is a fantastic city, absolutely wonderful." They were charming and easy to talk to. They seemed a bit older than me, perhaps in their late 20s, but we got along instantly. We spent hours sharing stories and laughing. I told them about my travels, embellishing some tales for dramatic effect, and they seemed captivated, calling me a great guy. Since I knew nothing about Bulgaria, I asked for their recommendations. They were experts on Sofia. "Hey, Sophia," Chloe said suddenly. "We're getting off at Bela Palanca for a couple of days, but why don't we head to Sofia this weekend to meet up with Ethan?" "That's a great idea," Sophia agreed. She turned to me. "We can meet you Saturday night at the Hotel Maritza. It's a nice place, affordable but good. What do you say, Ethan?" "That sounds perfect," I said. "Let's do it." The train ride was slow, and we reached Belgrade in the evening. Most of the passengers disembarked, leaving just the three of us in the carriage. The train guard came by, checked our tickets, and moved on. "Hey," Chloe said to Sophia, "why don't you and Ethan go get something to eat from the restaurant car? I'm not really hungry, and I could use a nap." "The food on the train is usually pretty expensive," I admitted, "and I'm on a tight budget until I find work in Sofia." "Oh, Ethan, don't worry about that," Chloe said dismissively. "You're our friend now. We've got plenty of money this week. We can treat you to a meal." "Of course we can," Sophia chimed in. "And when we see you in Sofia, we'll take you to the best restaurant in the city. You'll love it." What could I do? I was hungry, and they were insistent. So Sophia and I made our way to the dining car and enjoyed a meal. When we returned, Chloe was asleep. Sophia propped her feet up on the opposite seat and quickly dozed off as well. Around 9 o'clock, more passengers boarded, and two elderly men entered our carriage, muttering loudly in a language I didn't understand as they gestured at Sophia's feet on the seat. Sophia woke with a start. "Are we almost there?" she asked, looking out the window. "About another half hour, I think," Chloe replied. "Why are you stopping at Bela Palanca?" I asked, curious. "What's there to do?" Chloe smiled mysteriously. "We'll find a cheap hotel, explore the town, meet some locals, you know how it is, just for a day or two." "You never know what adventures you'll find," Sophia added with a laugh. "We'll see you in Sofia, right? Saturday night, Hotel Maritza at 8 p.m. Don't forget." "I'll be there," I promised. The train slowed and pulled into the station at Bela Palanca. The two women got off and stood on the platform, waving at me through the window. "Saturday, 8 o'clock," Chloe shouted over the station noise. I nodded and called back, "Okay," but I don't think they heard me. They smiled one last time, picked up their bags, and disappeared into the crowd. What wonderful people, I thought to myself. I'm going to have an amazing time in Sofia. We crossed from Yugoslavia into Bulgaria at 2 in the morning. The train then made an unscheduled stop in a small dark village. Suddenly, the carriages were flooded with police officers. Everyone in my carriage sat up, murmuring nervously. "What's going on?" I asked the old man next to me. "I don't know," he replied. "Maybe they're looking for someone." Just then, two policemen entered our carriage, one tall and thin, the other short and stout. They scrutinized each passenger carefully, their eyes lingering on me. "Come with us, please," the stout officer said in clear English. "Me? Why? What have I done?" I asked. "And bring your bag," the tall one commanded. I knew better than to argue with police, especially in a foreign country, so I quietly grabbed my bag and followed them off the train. Inside the small station building, more police were gathered with a group of young people from the train. Some looked terrified, others just looked bored as their bags were searched. My two officers led me to a separate table. "Passport, please, and open your bag," the stout one ordered. As they examined my passport, I emptied my bag's contents. At the next table, a young policewoman with kind eyes caught my gaze. I offered her a weak smile, and she smiled back sympathetically. "Aha!" the tall policeman exclaimed suddenly. My dirty laundry was strewn across the table. He picked up my now empty bag, turned it upside down, and shook it. Out fell bundle after bundle of United States currency. Thick stacks of $50 bills. A fortune! My jaw dropped. I couldn't speak. I was suddenly the center of attention as every officer in the room rushed over to our table. 50,000, 100,000. There must be $200,000 here, the tall policeman announced. He looked at me with a triumphant smirk. "What a very interesting bag, Mr. Ethan." I finally found my voice. "But that's not my bag," I yelled, even though I knew it was. A wide, pleased smile spread across his face. "Well," he said, "it has your name on it." He was right, of course. My name tag was clearly visible. It was my bag. But how did $200,000 get inside it? "You are not permitted to bring this amount of undeclared American currency into this country," the stout policeman stated grimly. "But I didn't bring it. It's not mine. I've never seen that money before in my life," I pleaded. Just then, I heard a loud noise from outside. I looked through the window and saw my train, the train to Sofia, slowly pulling away from the station. "Hey, that's my train!" I shouted in desperation. The tall policeman chuckled. It was clearly a great night for him. "Oh no," he said, "you won't be getting back on that train. You're staying right here with us, in our beautiful country." He smiled again, a picture of satisfaction. So, I never made it to my meeting at the Hotel Maritza. I was quite disappointed about that. I had a few questions for Chloe and Sophia. "You're our friend now, Ethan. We'll take you to the best restaurant in town." It all echoed in my head, and I never did make it to Cyprus or North Africa that winter. Life teaches you hard lessons. Prison isn't easy, but it's warm, and the food is decent. I'm meeting some fascinating characters, too. There's a man from Georgia named Boris. He's a good man. We spend our days talking about the future. When we finally get out of here, we have a plan. We're going to head to Australia, maybe Brisbane or Sydney. Find work on a ship, start over. Yes, next year is going to be different. Next year will be okay.